The beginning of the season was stellar for Aston Martin, as it was a sight for sore eyes to see a brand new team in the fold for the fight up at the top of the table. But since then, things have taken a turn for the worse for the Silverstone outfit. While they did enjoy the title of Surprise of the Season during their first few races, now they've fallen back behind Mercedes at P3. However, the team will not stop upgrading their car and will stay focused on this year's vehicle, unlike other teams, and another major upgrade is coming as soon as this week's race in Zandvoort. Could we see Fernando back on the podium and maybe a surprise resurgence of Lance Stroll? It's hard to dispute that Aston Martin's performance this season has been nothing less than remarkable, even considering the dip in results since the Austrian Grand Prix. Their dramatic improvement remains one of the standout narratives of 2023, and with 6 podiums in just 8 races, their progress is notably superior to their position as 7th in the constructors' standings last year. This is why Fernando Alonso seems to be thriving in Aston Martin, and his frequent podiums in 2023 surely contribute to that feeling. His runner-up achievements in Monaco and Canada are particularly ones to take note of, with the 42-year-old Spaniard showing glimpses of his prime and delivering some of his most exceptional races. And while Red Bull has shifted its attention to the 2024 car and unveiled their most recent updates in Belgium, there's potential for other teams to narrow the gap in the championship's final stages, with Mercedes being the biggest favorites to finish P2, but we certainly cannot and must not rule out Aston Martin, Ferrari and especially McLaren. Aston Martin is setting its sights on a podium finish, pinning hopes on their forthcoming upgrades at Zandvoort to get them there, as Mike Crack and his crew recognize the challenges with the AMR 23. They're optimistic that the Zandvoort upgrade will rectify these issues, while Lance Stroll thinks that Aston Martin needs to consistently deliver performances akin to their earlier season highs. The rivalry among Silverstone, McLaren, Ferrari and Mercedes is anticipated to be intense, both on the racetrack and behind the scenes. McLaren and Mercedes didn't wait for the summer break to end before implementing notable modifications to their vehicles. Lewis Hamilton highlighted that while changes are inevitable, their impact might not manifest immediately in the subsequent races. Both Aston Martin and Ferrari have the advantage of time following a relatively stable initial half of the season. They strategize to seize their moment when other competitors hit their performance ceilings, and that juncture seems to have arrived. For Aston Martin, the Zandvoort race, and for Ferrari, the Monza race, are pivotal in their quest to once again challenge the other racing giants. Before the Belgian Grand Prix last weekend, team principal Mike Crack elaborated that the team's downturn in performance was due to altered car characteristics, which he referred to as side effects, stemming from recent updates. At the Belgian Grand Prix, the team seemed to have navigated past these issues. Fernando Alonso secured a 5th-place finish, indicating that the AMR 23 felt like its old self again. As the team remains optimistic about its path to revival, Crack intimated that its performance in the latter half of the season would benefit from new components set to be introduced throughout the upcoming races, including the one in the Netherlands. All the races have upgrades, and if you have a look at the upgrade list for Zandvoort, you will see and you will read something. While some of Aston Martin's rivals are switching their focus to their 2024 cars, Crack says that it will continue to push on with its current challenger. "We're not switching off the tap," he said about development. "It's full on." Crack said that he wants the team to build upon this year and finish the season on a high, but he hopes he could have that magic bullet. Asked if there was anything major that could push it to the front, he said, "The magic bullet, I wish I could confirm that, but we have set up a plan and a development plan, and it was based on continuously developing the car. We follow that, and obviously you need to see what directions you take depending on what happens. Also, we have now an opportunity after 11 races to take a reflection point, and we have 10 times more points than we have had at this stage last time. We're P3 in the championship, and obviously the expectations rise with your results. Without a doubt, the dynamics of both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship remain unpredictable. While Alonso clings to the 3rd spot in the Drivers' Championship by a mere point, his team lags behind Mercedes by 51 points. Adding to the tension, they hold only a 5-point lead over Ferrari. Moreover, one cannot overlook McLaren, who gathered 86 points in just the last 4 races, and should they sustain this momentum in the season's latter half, neither Aston Martin nor Ferrari can feel assured of retaining the P3 and P4 slots. The upcoming upgrades, starting from Zandvoort, aim not only to lay a strong groundwork for the 2024 car, but also to solidify their standing as the grid's second or third top team, which will in turn secure a significant financial boost. Having finished P7 the previous year, they've enjoyed the luxury of extended wind tunnel and CFD time. Yet, complications introduced by the new tyres imply that the challenges might not be as straightforward to address as Aston Martin might have anticipated. But we must also take into consideration another important factor in the form of Lance Stroll's inconsistency. Aiming for the second spot in the Constructors' Championship necessitates having both drivers capably challenge both of Mercedes' contenders, and while Stroll began the season with commendable results, even surpassing Russell on a few occasions, the AMR 23's subsequent performance dip added further strain to the Silverstone-based team. Given that Stroll's father is the team owner, it's debatable if he feels the urgency to elevate his performance. His current output, which is less than stellar, might be the most significant hurdle for Aston Martin, regardless of how transformative their upgrades prove to be for the car. While Alonso has frequently demonstrated his magnanimity, such as offering personal advice to Lance Stroll mid-race, it doesn't necessarily guarantee a perpetually kind version of the two-time world champion. The moment Alonso senses that Aston Martin is in contention for a championship title, a journey the team commences from Zandvoort, his kindness towards Stroll might dwindle a bit. Mike Crack, speaking on behalf of Lance Stroll, has commented on this aspect. He mentioned that one of the most challenging roles in Formula One is to be Alonso's teammate, further explaining, "When you look at it, there's a big difference in points, but if you look through to how it came about, how it happened, you find sensible explanations for how it went. For us as a team, the gap between Stroll and Alonso is not really a problem. Because you can see, like in Hungary, he's competitive, he's on similar levels to Fernando. And I think you need not to forget you have one of the greatest drivers as your teammate. This is not easy." Both Fernando Alonso and Mike Crack have expressed surprise at the team's success this season, treating the achieved podiums as unexpected bonuses. If they didn't secure any more podiums for the season, they'd still be content because they surpassed their initial expectations. Aston Martin currently occupies the third spot in the championship, a position that, if maintained, will mark a significant leap from their 2022 standings. The post-summer break has brought renewed optimism to the team as they believe they've pinpointed the core issues that contributed to their performance dip. At Spa, Alonso's proclamation of the team being back in contention coupled with anticipated upgrades fuels hopes of regaining their competitive edge at the front. Having Alonso, who has consistently showcased his extraordinary racing prowess throughout the season, ensures that if the car's performance rebounds, additional podium finishes or even a potential victory are within reach. However, this progress is crucial for Aston Martin, especially with their competitors equally eager to climb up the ranks. Remarkably, the gap to the second-place Mercedes is just 51 points, setting P2 in the championship as an achievable goal. Despite the challenges, the team has been striving hard. There's a sense they might have benefited from an initial overperformance, and as the second part of the season progresses, the team's response will be keenly watched. Regardless of the outcome, the broader trajectory for Aston Martin appears promising. The fight for P2 starts now for the Silverstone-based outfit, but how it will end is anyone's guess. What do you think? Could Aston Martin finish second in front of Mercedes even? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you in the next video.